All right, guys. So I just wanted to talk about like things to look out for. So like this is a mature campaign. This client's been running for quite a long time. There's a number of ad campaigns that run. This is just one of them. Um, and obviously, as I've tried to tell you by now, there's a number of strategies, right? There's conversion-based campaigns. There's lead form campaigns. Really don't recommend those. But there's traffic campaigns, and in the e-commerce world, there's shopping campaigns, things like that. So really, the thing you want to look for is like anything that seems to spiral out of control, and you really want to monitor each month, like how many conversions you get, how many phone calls you get, what your average cost of conversion is, and also your cost per click. So you want to sort of keep an eye on those each month. Any kind of sudden change in behavior is a red flag. So I'll give you an indication of this, right? So this is actually looking okay. This is a plumbing client in Queensland. As you can see, like over time, I reckon even a couple of years ago, people would have kind of balked at this cost per click, but that's just how it is now. You know what I mean? Like cost goes up and down. It depends on the season, but it is a cost that does escalate over time. But if you stay with it, it does work for you. You will get results from it, you will get clients from it, and if you track it properly, definitely it will work for you. The things we want to keep an eye on is anything that any kind of massive change in behavior. And just honestly, like with the accounts I manage, I will log in there every couple of days and just make sure that all the settings are there. Because I've seen some things happen where, people had CPA targets and then suddenly they were spending heaps more money and they weren't getting the conversions. And then, of course, I've logged in and basically those targets were gone. And I went to the change history. There wasn't in the change history. I contacted Google support. They told me that the targets were never there, which I knew was absolute BS. I can't prove it, but Google definitely does heaps of dodgy stuff to make you spend more money and make your ads run. So I really encourage you to check on this really regularly because things can happen. Targets can be removed. Wrong keywords can be targeted. It is really something that you need to monitor quite frequently. You don't want to it's not a set and forget program, not at all. So every 2 days, I would definitely check in, just monitor these. But I also want to talk about Google Ads anxiety. And this is a thing that's really common, I think, with trades. Like when you start to get to the point where you're spending $500 or $600 a day, I think that there will be some days where you spend that and you'll get like 4 or 5 calls and none of those calls will convert into jobs. And people absolutely it's almost like, when people start gambling and they go, oh, I'm down this much. And if I kind of put more money into it, I'll be up again. They kind of get into this really weird mindset where they go, I'm going to turn my ads off because, I spent $500 yesterday and I didn't get a client out of it. I'm like, yeah, sure. But we can't have this knee-jerk reaction to it. We've got to look at the big picture over a month, so we've got to kind of go, okay, in a month, I spent, how much did I spend? I spent $6,000, for example, and, I made $30,000. So you've got to look at that big picture in a month. And this kind of stop-start behavior is not good for good Google ads. So panicking because you didn't make any sales today and turning your ads off, not good. I get why people do that, but you can't ride the waves. You've got to just accept. There'll be some days where you might spend $500. You might make $10,000. There might be some sort of dig up emergency pipe landing job or something that you end up, making quite good money from. So you have to just have a lot of faith in the process, but just have the checks and balances to monitor it and make sure you're making money. And you need to lower your Google Ads anxiety big time because stopping and starting and panicking over a bad day, it's just not really conducive to running your business. So you need to have it set up and running and have those cost controls in place so you can run your business. So that's what I want to say about monitoring and Google Ads anxiety. If you have any questions, please post them in the community chat. But yeah, just keep an eye on any kind of weird behavior, cost spiraling out of control, conversions going down, anything like that certainly needs to be looked at immediately. Okay, thanks guys. I'll see you in the next video.